Good evening, councillors, and good evening, everyone. The Mayor has sent an apology as she is unable to attend. She has requested that I chair the meeting this evening. Under the Code of Meeting Practice, Section 6, the chairperson, Part 6.1, the Mayor or the request of, or in the absence of Mayor, the Deputy Mayor, if any, presented at the meeting of the Council. The time being 6:32, I declare the Ordinary Council meeting of 26 March 2024 open. Persons in the gallery are advised that under the Local Government Act 1993, a person may not tape record the proceedings of a meeting of a council or committee without the authority of the council or committee. Tape record includes a video camera and an electronic device capable of recording speech. Mobile phones must be turned off so as not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone, including councillors, found using a mobile phone will be told to leave the meeting immediately and for the duration of the said meeting. An audio recording of the meeting will be taken for minute-taking purposes as authorized by the Local Government Act 1993. This meeting is live streamed on Council website to allow the meeting to follow Council debates and discussions without the need to attend meetings in person. Members of the public attending or speaking at the meeting agree to have their image, voice, and personal information, including name and address, recorded and publicly broadcasted. Strathfield Council does not accept liability for any defamative remarks or inappropriate comments that are made during the course of a meeting. Any part of the meeting that is held in closed sessions will not be streamed. Councillors and members of the gallery, please note that the microphones of the streaming purpose is sensitive and we will record all sounds in the room. The Mayor's diary for the March 2024 and expenses claimed by all the councillors has been tabled for your information as per the resolution 147/19. Councillors, in accordance with the mandatory provisions of the Model Code of Conduct, I remind councillors of the obligation to which you sworn by taking the oath or affirming in that you will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities, and discretion vested under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of your ability and judgment. Now I would request everyone to stand for the prayer. We pray that our deliberations today will be object and decisions are impartial and made for the benefit of the whole community. Recognition of traditional custodians. Let us begin by acknowledging the Wongal people, the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting is being held. We pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Thank you. We have an apology from our Mayor, Councillor Pennsylvania. Do we have any other apologies and leave of absence?
Just quickly, a few of you have probably been surprised that I have ruined my perfect attendance since my election in 2017 by missing the last two council meetings. I will, at the next council meeting, and send to the General Manager and be seeking a leave of absence from future council meetings, and I request that my council colleagues be reasonable in supporting this for the sake of my well-being. I am having extreme anxiety attending council meetings and have sought and continue to seek professional help for this. I always feel when you do not enjoy something, it is probably time to make a move So I'm also letting everyone know that I will not be recontesting election to Strathfield Council at the upcoming election. This has been a very hard decision for me, but I need to focus on my career as a real estate agent, and thank you very much to anyone who has supported me over the years.
Any other apologies or absence? Now I would like to ask councillors to disclosure of interest. Does any councillors wish to make any disclosure of interest? I request that each councillor with a conflict stand clearly state the item, the nature of the conflict, and what actions they will be taking on their conflict.
Madam Mayor, for item P1, draft submission to New South Wales Legislative Council inquiry into the development of thought program. I'm still not sure from the books whether my place of principal residence is affected by this or not. The diagrams, maps, I used my magnifying glasses, I couldn't still find it. So I do not know whether I am affected, my principal property of residence, whether it is impacted by it or not. So because I am not sure, I would be declaring a pecuniary interest, and I would not be participating on this discussion, should there be any discussion here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Datta. Any other?
In respect of agenda item P1, which is the submission to the Todd inquiry, I currently act for a charity whose director owns land, potentially within the proposed Todd area. That land is located nearby to the intersection of Olympic Drive and Underwood Road. And I'm declaring that as a significant non-pecuniary interest and will leave the room. And then in respect of item PE2, which relates to the audit of military charges, the council report identifies a private provider as a potential service delivery agent, that's Jolt. While the initial report only dealt with council's charges as an operator, as that service delivery agent has been identified, I have a personal friendship with a person who is significantly employed there, and I will leave the room. I declare that as a non-pecuniary significant interest. And just in case I misspoke, in respect to the first item, that is a significant non-pecuniary interest as well. Thank you.
Through the chair, I got the conflict of interest, maybe conflict of interest of the item 10.4, and the special conflicts of interest regarding, the 11 to 12 workers present, and 2 subway lane, and 5, 11 to 11 9th Street, 88 and 92 Parramatta Law Office. Because I'm the resident, along the Parramatta corridor, so I prefer to declare this one as non-pecuniary interest in the agenda item. So I would like to step out.
PE1, you are stepping up.
Which one?
PE1.
No, PE1, 10.4.
10.4.
No, PE1 too. Yes, PE1, yes.
Is it significant or non-significant?
I think it's not significant.
So how do we address it? Will you stay here or go out?
Councillor Chai, I would request you to make 2 individual conflict of interest rather than combining both of them in one. Maybe you can fix this later with the staff.
Sorry.
Councillor Chai, what you need to specify PE1 as well. What interest you have?
I'm really not sure about this one. Anyway,
Non-significant.
oh, I can solve this one after the meeting.
You need to signify whether it's a pecuniary or non-pecuniary, and whether if your interest is significant and non-significant.
I think, I can see the Nela's one. I think we got the same one. So Nela declare as a pecuniary interest, which one? Pecuniary interest, yeah, the pecuniary. I changed this one. Sorry about that. I'll fill out another one, okay.
He's doing another form.
It should be the same.
Councillor Hall?
So,
We'll need some more forms.
okay. I say again, okay, I have the agenda is 10.4 and the P1, and it has the pecuniary significant association with the item. Thank you.
Councillor Hall?
Mine is 10.4 and PE1 as well, relationship with the lessee of the property on the Parramatta Road corridor. It's significant, and I will be leaving the room, and I will only have one form, so I will fill out another one as soon as we get some more copies and complete them and give them to Vivian.
What would be your second one for?
10.4 and PE1.
Did you declare 10.1 as well?
Yeah, I thought I said both. 10.4 and PE1. PE1 10.4. Relationship with lessee of property on the Parramatta Road corridor. It is significant, and I will be leaving the room, and I will complete a second form when we get more copies of the form.
Thank you, councillors. Now we'll move on to the acknowledgements. Does anyone have any acknowledgements? Can I ask that we keep them brief, around 1 minute each acknowledgement, please?
Well, I cannot say that only, but I have acknowledgements. I would like to acknowledge the holy celebration by Strathfield Australians of Indian subcontinental heritage. The fourth of this is their 10th year of the celebration. The color of Holi represents the platonic love and affection between Lord Krishna and Sri Radhaji. The color represents the different forms of love and respect of affinity possible between human beings and nature. Congratulations to all councillors and mayor and the community members for supporting the celebration for 10 consecutive years in Strathfield. Holi was also celebrated by Hindu Council of New South Wales, which was attended by the Premier and many other VIPs from the broader Australian community. There have been many other dozens of Holi celebrations in other places that I am aware of. And participating with all this Holi celebration, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, I could see that Holi is being adopted as an Australian celebration, not just a celebration of the people of Indian subcontinental heritage. When I see senior ministers and other dignitaries joining them and enjoying them for hours. Unique feature of Holi is people of all walks of life celebrated Holi with each other, apply the gulal or the color on each other, reflecting the core traditional values of the Sanatana Dharma, of all the people of Indian subcontinental heritage that grew tens of thousands of years ago. And the three core values that is represented by the celebration of Holi and other celebration of the people of Indian subcontinental heritage are that we all are created in the image of the same God, which is really promoting the equality between all human beings. It is also reflects the celebration of the values that if we try, we all can achieve the divinity or godliness, which is a message of social equity. Also, the other value that it celebrates is the essence of all religions are in agreement, what really reflects universal brotherhood. And I think these values reflected by the communities are understood by many people, particularly I can see the VIPs, and this really is leading to the evolution of Australia, and that will contribute to transforming Australia into a nation of one people, pulling the country in the same direction for building an increasingly more integrated, more prosperous and harmonious Australia for all Australians. And I encourage every organization to celebrate these things, and I also thank all of the organizations, including Hindu Council and Shaish, who have been celebrating that. Thank you.
Any other acknowledgements? Yeah, Councillor.
I'd like to acknowledge the seniors event that was held by Council last week, and particularly the assistance of Miss Agathia Yinlan-Gi. In certain circumstances, we have a very large Chinese-only speaking groups within the council area, and on occasion, Agathia has assisted with translating as she assisted me, and I'd like to acknowledge her contribution to the community, and I'll submit that to David in writing as well.
Do we have any more acknowledgements, councillors? Can I ask for confirmation of minutes? Ordinary Council meeting 2027, February 2024. Moved by.
Can I amend it?
We're going to move in.
It's a minute, so we can't amend it. It's a minutes. It's already been done. So you really, unless until there is a typo error.
The Chair, because I have declared my interest, the conflict of interest for the same item. I think today I declare as the significant, conflict of interest. In the minutes, I put it as a non-significant. I just want to match each other. On page 8. I need the third paragraph.
Yep. You want to make it significant?
Yes. Just match both.
I need to seek some advice. Because it's already been done, you declared your interest for that particular meeting. So I don't think you can change it now. Maybe in the future meetings you could. We would like to get some advice on it.
Through you, Madam Chair, this is a record of what you declared at that meeting, so the minutes reflect what you declared at the meeting. The fact that you've rethought that for this meeting and declared differently, that's fine. This is a record of what you declared on the night.
Just if I can say, Madam Mayor, I think there is a typo here in my case too, particularly, because I remember declaring for the same item P2, above the line, pecuniary and significant interest. That's what I declared from memory. So it reads pecuniary non-significant. Conflict of interest is not what I declared. It's a pecuniary significant interest, which was above the line.
Mine too. I definitely declared a pecuniary significance. So.
Which I have done today as well.
Yeah. So.
Councillors will check the recording as well as the declarations provided. We'll check and we'll amend it appropriately. So for the meeting minutes, I have a mover as Councillor Datta and seconded by Councillor Chai. Thank you. Can we?
Yep.
There are no mayoral minutes tonight, so we get to go home early.
What about deputy mayoral minutes?
Such thing.
Items by exceptions. Section 13 of the Council Code of Meeting Practice. In accordance with Section 13 of the Council Code of Meeting Practice, items can be dealt with by exception and can be adopted as recommended by a single motion. There are 4 items that need to be dealt with separately as these reports have disclosures to or not to be discussed. They are 2024 National General Assembly Conference delegations and motions, and CCS 8 financial statement for the year ending 30 June 2023.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I'm just, if we can go back again, what is
CCS 6
Yeah.
2024 National General Assembly Conference delegation and motions.
Yep, I would be, this can go as long as it doesn't impact a motion that I'm proposing be adopted for the.
So, Councillor Datta, we are going to put apart from these 4 everything in exception, and I'm going to read the exceptions list as well, and you can pull it out if you want something else. So these are going by exceptions.
Sorry,
No, without exception.
That's not the question. The question is,
Yes.
you getting that?
Through you, Madam Mayor. So Councillor Data, the Deputy Mayor is just identifying the reports that will need to be dealt with by Council and that cannot be dealt with by exception. So these are reports that will need to be considered by Council and can't be moved in bulk. So you'll have to, so item CCS 6 will have to be dealt with separately.
Correct, okay then.
Okay, so,
That's the,
yeah, so the Deputy Mayor is just letting councillors know.
So these are the ones we're pulling out.
so,
So can we start?
that's just, I get confused again.
Starting.
Normally we pull out the ones that we do not discuss. But what you are saying that we are reading out, calling out ones that we want to discuss. So which one is correct? That's the confusion. Are we calling out ones that we are not going to discuss?
So through the Deputy Mayor, the Deputy Mayor is, maybe if we let the Deputy Mayor finish going through the script, you will then also be able to identify any other reports that you'd like to pull out.
What?
So today we are doing.
So I would suggest that we let the Deputy Mayor finish and then you will get to identify reports that you would like to pull out through the normal process.
Sorry, I'm just still confused. The list that the Madam Deputy Mayor is reading out, are these ones that are going to be passed by exception, or are these ones that are going to be discussed?
Are going to be discussed.
Okay.
Today's meeting we are doing something different. We are going,
Right.
I'm announcing the ones which we are going to discuss first.
Discuss, okay, that makes it clear like water.
You do something different, confused.
CCS 6 and CCS 8 financial statement for the year ending 30 June 2023. PE1 draft submission to the New South Wales Legislation Council, inquiry into the development of the TOD program, and EO5 proposed classification as operational land of 8 affordable housing units at 15 to 17 Columbia Avenue, Homebush.
Can we take it out?
It is out.
It is out.
All these items are out, Councillor.
We need some more.
Councillors, can we now review the remaining items for business and determine which can be resolved by a single motion? I'm gonna read out the motions and for exception, if you have any objections, please let me know. 10.1, light rail extension to Strathfield. Do we keep it?
It's exception, it can go.
It's exception, okay. 10.2, infrastructure consideration for future development in Strathfield LGA. Letter to the
Exception.
by exception.
Yeah.
10.3, council protocol.
Yeah, it can go. Exception.
10.4, special. Out.
Yeah, that's a stay.
10.5, report in or out, councillor.
That's in.
By exception. 10.6, invitation to the Information and Privacy Commission, New South Wales, to review.
It can go. Exception.
10.7, letter to the Minister for Local Government regarding the prohibition of property and property developers, real estate agents, and liquor and gambling and third-party lobbyists.
Exception.
Councillors?
Exception.
10.8, protecting children online.
Exception.
CCS 1, investment report, February 2024.
Exception.
CCS 2, tenders advertised and award. CCS 3,
Exception.
current status of council resolutions.
Exception.
CCS 4, council workshop, 12th March 2024.
Exception.
CCS 5, council workshop, 19th March 2024.
Pull out, please.
That one's got to stay.
CCS 7, Symphony Jubilati, council sponsored prize.
Yes, true.
Put it up.
Yes, please.
CCS 9, draft council. This one?
That's coming out.
CCS 9, draft councillor and staff interaction policy.
It's
Coming
coming out.
up. PE2, electric vehicle charging stations audit.
PE1 has to
Come out
come
as
out.
other conflict.
PE1 and PE2 have to come out.
EO1, review of sporting grounds fees and charges for 2024 and 25.
Come out, please.
Out. EO2, review of the community facilities fees and charges.
Come out.
Out. EO3, Cooks River upgrade.
Exception.
Come out, please.
EO4, potential location for the Gapyong War Memorial.
Out.
Out. Twelve point one, report from Traffic Committee, meeting 20 February 2024.
Exception.
12.2, report from Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee, meeting 22 February 2024.
Exception.
Exception. 12.3, report from Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee meeting on 7th March 2024.
Exception.
12.4, report from Traffic Committee meeting on 19 March 2024. We have a closed session. It's a confidential matter. EO6, confidential matter. By exception, councillors? Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillors, can I have a mover and seconder for these items to be dealt with? Councillor Datta mover and Councillor Maheshwaran seconder. Can we all vote for it? Unanimous?
As long as you are voted for it. I see you raising your hand.
Rejected.
Public forum. Mr. Kolanda Devlu Narayana Swamy, also known as Nimmu, has registered to speak. No specific item on the agenda.
Also known as NAB, sorry.
None.
NAB.
None. Yes. Has registered to speak. No specific item on the agenda to discuss a number of ongoing issues at the junction of Albert Road and Heidi Avenue, including tree pruning and street sweeping. Speakers are reminded that they have 3 minutes to address the council on that item of interest, with a possible 2 minutes extension if approved by the committee. You can always have a look at the camera. Speakers cannot ask questions of councillor or staff.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, councillors, general manager, and the staff. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say my
Street.
Albert Road, 188 Albert Road. I am in, but my house is in the corner of Albert Road and Heidi Avenue. I'm here to seek your cooperation and support to resolve a problem which has been plaguing me for the last 3 years. I have brought this up at several forums and discussed it with the concerned officials, including the former mayor, Mr. Blackmore, and then Karen and some of your councillors. I had also addressed a note to the councillors on the 2nd of February. Unfortunately, I didn't get much feedback. I got only 2 persons responding to me, 2 councillors. I don't know whether everyone got the note that I sent to them. If not, I have extra copies which I could distribute. The issue that I am faced with is pruning of the tree adjacent to Heidi Avenue, facing my house. Now, this is especially one particular tree, and also there are 3 trees. This has been the cause of some damage to my roof several times, and I had paid out of my pocket about $2,000 in 2001. Now, I don't want a repeat of this, and it's happening over again. And the latest trend is that I want to install some solar panels, and the solar panel guy has come and told me now, if I can install, what will happen is, if there's a big storm and heavy rains, it's going to be damaged because the overhanging branches are likely to fall. So my request is to review this again. I have written twice. I think your staff have come and examined it, and they've come up with issues like girth, clearance, stability, and all that. But if you look at the trees just opposite my house, next side of Heidi Avenue, you will see the trees being allowed to grow vertically, with the sides being cut to provide for the house roofs to be protected. I do not know why on our side this is not being adhered to. And my request is that let us look at the other side of Heidi Avenue. Let us look at Bridge Street, where the trees are cut to provide for a vertical growth and the sides are exempt so that, the properties are not adversely affected. Now, all these issues were discussed with Matthew and Karen 3 years ago, and it was as a result of the pressure and the information that we gave to Mr. Matthew. I think an important transformation took place in 2022 for the tree removal. This was a link to tree removal and tree pruning. And fortunately, that DCP, or DCP, what do you call that number?
Councillors, do you want to extend?
DCP Part 0, tree management, that was issued, and that resulted in a lot of people being prevented from suffering from this what you call laborious process of getting approval for tree removal. That was a wonderful achievement of the council this time. I hope similar achievement could be made if you can understand the plight of residents like me, where we are having to go through this kind of agonizing repairs every now and then with the tree branches not being adequately pruned. That is number one issue. Number two issue is about the street sweeping and nature strip maintenance. I have raised this issue also at various other meetings. Now, street sweeping, once in a blue moon it happens. Although you claim to have a schedule of street sweeping, it is never observed, diligent manner. So I am told, at least I was told some time back by Karen, that the contractor has been re-engaged or removed and someone else has been appointed and things should improve. If it improves, we'll be very happy. But the reason is, during autumn, and you will, if you only pass that way, you will know the maple trees and all the trees are around the corner. It's pandemonium, even traffic is halted. And at times, you all are requested to come and get that cleaned up for traffic to move. So if you can understand the situation that is caused to residents who can't even drive into their driveway and the garage because it's full of leaves. Then the maintenance of nature strips. I do not know how the Structural Council manages that. I am told, which may be not correct, that elderly people or pensioners, I don't know, I'm also a pensioner. I'm not a Centrelink pensioner though. So what kind of pensioners are assisted in this form, I don't know. Burwood Council, Cumberland Council provides for cleaning of street, the nature strip once a month at least. But I don't think we have. We are paying quite substantial rates and revised recently. So I hope you would at least consider during the heavy seasons when tree falls are great and traffic is jammed up because of tree leaves blocking even the main road. We will arrange for street nature strip maintenance and street
Mr. Nath, would it be possible to wind up because we have already extended 2 minutes?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Just a second. May I suggest that because a person, I know that the person have taken a lot of time to prepare here. May I request that we give the person a grace of another 2 minutes, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. Yes, because I've spent a lot of time preparing for this, and I would appreciate if any one of you who has not read the submission that I made on the 2nd of February, I will leave behind about 5 or 6 for the councillors. Kindly have a look at it and see what could be done to improve the situation in respect of tree pruning, in respect of street sweeping, and in respect of maintenance of nature strips. This has been problems. The other people don't come and tell you this, but I have been writing on their behalf. Heidi Avenue, Albert Road people have come and talked to me on this subject, and I have represented them as a community resident in the area. So my request is, please help residents to get over this issue of tree pruning, most important. I would like to install solar, but I'm unable to do that because I have been warned that that will not be possible unless you prune those. There are only 3 branches. Why not? I mean, I know that some people from your office have come and seen it. I would like to get some independent people to have a look at it and decide what is the best proposition that you can consider. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support. Thank you. May I leave this with you in case you know?
Sure, please feel free.
We did. I did send.
Already.
You have it? Good. Leila, you have it? I did send it to you, but maybe. Thank you. I think Michael has it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nath. Motion to amend the order of business. Councillors, in relation to item CCS8, we have in attendance for this item Brian Chairperson, Audit Risk and Improvement Committee, who will address the council on the audited financial statements, and Rini Memoriers Gill of the Audit Office of New South Wales, who is available to answer questions if required. I note that both of them are sitting in the gallery. I move that the order of business can be amended under clause 8.2 of the Code of Meeting Practice to bring forward item CCS8, financial statement for the year end of 30 June 2023, page 100 in your things. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Datta? Can we vote on it? Councillor Chai? Unanimous and carried forward.
Madam Mayor, can I ask a quick question through Michael McThrew? The person who is here, thank you, ma'am, for coming here.
Thank you very much.
The person, is he part of the Audit Risk Committee?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Now I invite Brian Hungjack, Chair of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee, to address the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. Thank you, councillors. If you're curious, it's Croatian, so and it's missing a few vowels. I wanted to thank you all for this opportunity to connect. Excuse me, my voice has been failing me today. This is actually the first invitation that's been extended to ARIC members to attend a council meeting for the adoption of accounts. 10 years ago, when Dennis Vecker and myself, a fellow member, were invited to become members of Strathfield's ARIC, it was a very different operating environment. That's when I joined. When we arrived in 2014, elements of council's operations were under review as part of a Section 430 investigation by the Office of Local Government. Also from about that time until about mid-2017, council faced a fairly serious existential threat from the state government policy of forced amalgamation. My fellow member Dennis and I have known 6 general managers over our tenure to occupy the job, and 5 CFOs. Our subsequent member Catherine O'Malley joined us after this period. But the lesson for us is that instability is a difficult environment to foster the growth and betterment of corporate culture. It would be the ARIC's view that the council's current operating environment is the most stable that we have witnessed in the past 10 years. It's also therefore timely, and it's critically important for the future, that council's senior management team are leading a program of financial improvement. This program of restructuring the rating base, of improving revenues and reducing expenditures, is the first such policy initiative in a decade, and positions the organisation for stability in light of the material population changes that have now been fully telegraphed. ARIC would also strongly recommend that council maintain a strong commitment to systems development and to integration to deliver service and efficiency gains to support the work of the financial improvement program and to protect the council from external threats, mainly cyber threats. Turning to these accounts, we commend the work and the cooperation of management and the external audit team to deliver an unqualified set of accounts for approval. Rodney Sanjeevi's team have worked diligently with Renee Maymaroglu's team from the Audit Office to identify the issues affecting receivables, contract liabilities, grant income, and the measurement of infrastructure, property, plant and equipment. The responsibility, however, remains solely with Rodney's team to resolve these issues and to strengthen the underlying accounts and subsystems while maintaining business as usual. As a legacy from this council to the next, we have a high degree of confidence that you will be handing over an organisation that is in a substantially more robust operating position to how you councillors founded in 2021. ARIC would encourage you to stay the course and to continue your support of management's efforts in this regard. Thank you.
Madam Chair, could I ask some questions, please? Thank you for coming here and giving your glowing comments. Do we have an adequate risk issues, dependencies, assumptions, management framework in this council?
If I can frame that question, do we have...
Do this council currently have a risk, financial risk, and other risk management framework?
The council does have a risk management
Written documented framework?
Yep, and council staff are actively working.
So you're saying that this council has a documented risk issues, dependence, and management framework?
It's a developing system.
Developing system. So you have been here for 10 years, right? So why it has taken so long for it's still developing?
The state government have promulgated in their guidelines a requirement that councils have an enterprise risk management framework. It's good practice to have an enterprise risk management framework, but it's still a young science. And in this regard, it has not been on management's agenda. It's always been in a rudimentary format, but it hasn't been developed to the extent of the Australian standards.
Yeah. So not what you are saying, in other words, it's not robust enough for an organization that is dealing with a business of $70 million or $80 million a year.
Well, it's developing and can improve.
Developing.
Yeah.
I was my second question, I was a member of the Audit Risk Committee and attended 2 meetings. You attended those meetings as well. And the chair of the meeting at the time, I asked some questions regarding the framework. And what was done in the meeting, and particularly by the chair, was being stopped me from asking questions. Then I started not attending it because, like you, we all are busy. And if people do not understand what we are asking.
Councillor Datta, could you focus on the financial statements,
That's
please?
financial, yeah, I'm saying this. So why was not, some of the framework related question that I was asking, why was not responded to at that time that it is developing? My questions are basically about the framework, and there was no responses to that, and the chair of the time was basically trying to stop me from asking the questions. Why there was no response from some of the experts that were attending the meeting?
Councillor, the specific instance you're raising, I can't recall. I know our audit and risk committees are run in a very collegiate fashion. There's free-flowing discussion. If a question was raised, I would have expected it to be an answer to your satisfaction. But I don't recall any further action from yourself to raise the matter or to specifically raise it.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan.
Thank you.
Does any other councillors, Councillor Hall? Does any other councillors have a question related to financial statement?
I suppose just one. One of the things that necessitated the change, the SRB change, what I'm referring to is what were unfunded liabilities, so to speak. As I understand it, this is my understanding because of the way in which council was rating its infrastructure or the expenses that it would have for its road expenses in particular. Why do you think that came about, that liability wasn't funded on the balance sheets previously?
It wasn't identified. That's really the key. And what you have is a situation that management have identified, your current management have identified, is that a process of a gap arising from reducing revenues and increasing expenses. And the problem has been put down the road a few times, and now the situation has arisen where it's been clearly identified, the extent of it's been identified, and I believe council took very definitive action in this regard last year. However, could I suggest that we haven't seen the impact of it yet, because it's only just come in from the current financial year. So you'll start to see the benefits of the financial improvement program coming into this financial year.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary. That was in respect of the road infrastructure, so to speak, and council has a widespread of assets and also liabilities. Could you perhaps suggest to us or explain to us what the process is now to ensure that that sort of gap doesn't exist when providing these financial statements.
So I specifically referred to the improvements in the systems. Rodney's team in finance are working with an inadequate assets register, and they've been left with a situation in preparing these accounts that the data that's been presented to them is insufficiently reliable and needs to be improved. And that's what they'd be looking for councillors to support and give them the resources to improve those records. In some cases, it results in misclassification. Is it a big deal if an asset is classified as one type of asset as opposed to another? And it can give rise to problems in correct depreciation being charged. So that's why we're trying, and the Audit Office expect a high degree of accuracy from every New South Wales council.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Councillors, now we go to the recommendations. Can I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Councillor Maheshwaran, seconded by Councillor Chai. Can we vote for it, councillors? Unanimous, carried. I now move that we return to the normal order of business as outlined in the agenda. Can I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Councillor Hall and seconded by Councillor Maheshwaran. Can we all vote for it? Unanimous. Notice of motion. 10.4. 10.4. Special conflict of interest disclosure.
Sorry.
10.4.
So do not have a quorum.
Councillors. Councillors, now we don't have quorum for this item, so this item lapses and it will be carried forward to the next council meeting. Can I request? Councillors, we have the quorum again, and we are going to CCS 5, Councillor Workshop, 19 March 2024. Councillor Datta, you have asked.
Yes.
Page number 68.
68, yeah. Just a small thing. From CCS 1 on page 68. From memory, I was there at the meeting. And I also requested that I would be looking for hybrid, like a paper copy and electronic identity. But I see for some reason my name was not mentioned. So I thought if that could be very kindly included, Madam Mayor.
I can do that.
We can do that. It's just a,
Thank you.
is that all?
That's all.
Okay. Do we wait for Nella?
Gail.
Yep. Yep. So, councillors for CCS 5, can I have a mover? Councillor Chai and seconded by Councillor Hall. Can we all vote for it? Unanimous, carried. Councillors, the next item is CCS 6, 2024 National General Assembly Conference, Delegates and Motions. Can I have a mover? Can I have a seconder? Councillor Chai and Councillor Chai. Any debate?
Madam Mayor, if anyone else has anything to say first, please go ahead. Otherwise, I have a comment, not a debate, just a comment.
We have to determine the councillors to attend 2024,
Yes.
the National General Assembly, and I propose that those councillors that would like to attend advise the General Manager by no less than 12 April.
Seconded by all.
Then we need to determine the voting delegate. I understand that Councillor Pensabeni would like to be the voting delegate. However, if there is somebody else that wants to be the voting delegate, anybody else, any takers? Any takers, any takers? Then I propose that Councillor Pensabeni, the Mayor, Councillor Pensabeni be the voting delegate.
Councillor Datta, do you have?
I have a comment. I think I sent the comment electronically to David. The comment is I moved a motion and that was carried in this meeting last month. The meeting was regarding constitutional recognition of councils, and I am proposing to all of you to support that motion be included and proposed at the national forum on behalf of our council. That's my suggestion. That's how I'm moving.
Councillor Datta, I've gotten advice that all the motions will be bring back to April's council meeting, and that's when we get to pass everything together.
Everything, all the motions will be brought back in April meeting?
In the April council
That's
meeting.
fine. That's fine.
Thank you, Councillor.
I have a question. So, in under accommodation, we've got accommodation and meals as per the New South Wales Crown Employees Public Service Commission, blah blah blah. Do we have numbers for those? And the accommodation 219 to 475 per night, is that part of that? Is that what the is that what that is?
Can I get some advice from?
It may be taken on notice.
Through you, Madam Chair, this was just an estimate of a quick scan of what available accommodation there was, just to give you an indication of the sort of expenses that you might be up for. So this is asking you to approve expenditure for the conference, and we wanted to give you a scope for what that might look like. We don't have definite bookings. Until we know how many councillors are wanting to go, we can't make a booking yet. So if we get everybody's numbers by the 12th, when we come back to that next council meeting, we can give you those firm numbers and would that be appropriate, General Manager?
So you're saying that these numbers are not written in
They're just an estimate.
permanent marker?
No, they're just an estimate of what I saw was available from the accommodation that was suggested by the forum itself. They had a range, and I investigated which ones were available at the time.
And if those numbers changed, do they need to come back to the next council meeting?
No.
Not if they're within the range.
The range is 219 to 475?
Yes. If council.
Okay.
Can we get some advice from the general?
Through your Deputy Mayor, so the values that are in the report are just indicative of the accommodation expense. I think what councillors should be focused on is that as part of the council's facilities and expenses policy, each councillor is approved an annual amount of $5,000 per year for the cost of their attendance at conferences. So the cost of attending this conference needs to fit within that $5,000 on a cumulative basis for any conference that the council has attended this financial year. So the officers, once they know how many delegates are looking to attend the conference, will go and source the best value for money accommodation in Canberra.
That's a question. No. Value for money. So if I can ask, I think what I understood is if a councillor has attended a number of meetings, a councillor can attend only these conferences to the tune of $5,000 maximum. So does it mean that if no other councillor attended, say we are 7 councillors, cumulatively we can attend meetings worth of $35,000. Now, if no other councillors are attending, hypothetically speaking, can one councillor attend $35,000 worth of meetings?
So through your Deputy Mayor, the policy is very specific, and it's captured in the report on page 72. It's $5,000 per councillor per financial year.
Thank you, councillors.
I got a question.
Councillor Chan.
Through the chair, I think on page 72, the approved budget is $35 total for all councillors. What was that? $35 or?
Oh, it's missing a 0.
It's just a typo error.
What's the figure?
35,000.
35,000. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Happy with that?
Confusing.
That's, if we can confuse you enough, then we know we have done our job.
So the councillors, the motion I have is that councillors who wish to attend the 2024 National General Assembly of Local Government and for confirm their availability to attend with the General Manager by no longer than 12th April 2024, and that the Mayor be nominated the voting delegate for the 2024 National General Assembly. Can we have a small amendment, Mayor or her delegate? It gives room for Mayor or her delegate. Councillors, for the motion, can we? I put the motion. Can we all vote for it? Unanimous, carried. CCS 7, Symphony Jubilati, page 98. Anyone would like to discuss? Can we have a mover and seconder? Councillor Paul mover and Councillor Datta seconded. Is there? Councillor Maheshwaran.
I move an amendment to the recommendation, and which is the recommendation being to refer, or the resolution being to refer it to a workshop, the next council workshop.
Councillors, it has already come from the workshop. Mover, Councillor Hall and Councillor Datta. Would you accept the recommendation to move it to workshop again?
I'm just trying to, if I can have some clarification.
And I'll speak to the amendment. My understanding is that there's a trepidation around taking money from the discretionary grants. I'll call them discretionary grants fund, to have a recurring fund, to have a recurring grant. And that's despite this organisation, because of its intrinsic merit, repeatedly winning these grants year in, year out. I strongly believe that a recurring prize would be good for the council more than the Symposia, because it will formalise that funding that's provided, and conversely, the organisation can plan around it every year and wouldn't be put to the trouble of applying and receiving it every year. The only other thing I'd mention in this, and this speaks to more the substance of the original motion, is that this isn't a community organisation that's entirely comprised of, or almost entirely comprised of, the parents of children that are in our primary schools. It is the most Strathfield or community-focused thing I can imagine, and I've attended their events, and they normally have at least 1,000 people there. So it's a significant community organisation. The money seems rather insignificant in comparison. I'd like to send it back to workshop so that we can workshop alternative ideas to fund it, to remove the concern that some councils have about removing money from the grants that are ordinarily expended.
I understand. That's fair enough. Yeah, I can see where he's coming from.
Councillor Datta.
I probably ask questions through the chair to the GM that do we have any provision that of granting $5,000 on a recurring, two questions really. If we were to find $5,000 on a recurring basis, in addition to the $15,000 that we currently have for community grants, how does that, could that be managed by the financial situation of the council? And what is the impact of that? Is that a feasible thing?
Through you, Deputy Mayor. So I think in response to Councillor Datta's question, which was addressed at the workshop, for any permanent allocation or recurring allocation for this type of funding to a particular group, you would have to find a subsequent reduction in another budget.
So what that is, through the chair again, so what that means is, I do agree that it was answered, but I just wanted to make sure that my young brain is not forgetting something. So what I am saying is, what that means to me is, if we found, we know that some of the community organizations have restrictions on getting grants, like if they are given a certain grant at a certain year, they have restrictions on how much they may get in the following year, and all those kind of things. I cannot remember all the details. Now, I think what Councillor Maheshwaran is proposing is this particular organization be given $5,000 each year, and so that they can plan. And I have heard that argument from many other organizations as well, and I do understand and agree that other organizations also, they are unsure of getting any fund, not just from the council, but other places as well they get. So they go through a lot of hardships for that. So I cannot see that how is it possible, now I'm asking the second question, that is it possible for council to allocate $5,000 year in, year out for a particular organization? Is that technically feasible, even if they found the fund?
Councillor Datta, I think that's the reason to find out the answers. We are referring it to workshop so that it will give a chance for the council staff to come back with a report if they can find money or not.
Yeah, take it to the state government.
At the moment, we are only proposing to send this item back to the workshop. As a seconder, you need to agree to it.
No, I'm just asking a question because I just ask a question made through the GM through you. That's all.
Yeah, we have it. I'll let the GM answer.
Through you, Deputy Mayor. Certainly council would still need to resolve the annual allocation on a recurring basis. You couldn't resolve to provide this funding in perpetuity. It's not incumbent on an existing council to commit a future council to tie up the funds. It would need to be continuously resolved as part of the operational plan process and reported so that it's open and transparent as to which community groups are getting the financial support from the council. And typically the way all councils across New South Wales have handled that is it is done through a competitive process such as the community grants process.
Right to the state government.
Now, do you accept the amendment?
Yeah, I do not have to, but I do accept.
Do you accept the amendment suggested by?
Sure, let's convince them.
So now the amendment is now the motion. Can we all vote for it? Unanimous, carried forward. Councillors, CCS 9, Draft Councillors and Staff Interaction Policy, page 192. Can I have a mover? Councillors, CCS 9, can I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Councillor Datta and seconded by Councillor Hall. Do we have any discussions?
Madam Chair, that the recommendation be that we refer to workshop. For the next workshop.
Mover and seconder, do you accept the?
Yep.
Now the amendment amended is a motion. Can we all vote for it?
Yeah.
Councillors? Carried forward, unanimous. Councillors, we have PE1, page 212. We have some conflicts here.
Yeah, I think I need to get out.
We've got a quorum here.
To the members of the gallery and for the staff, we don't have a quorum for this item, so the motion lapses, and I would like to request the councillors to come inside. Would it go to order? That was funny. That was good. The next item is PE2, Electric Vehicles Charging Station Audit. Councillor Maheshwaran has declared his conflict of interest. Any discussions, councillors?
Sorry.
Can I have a mover for this motion, please? Councillor Datta, and seconded. Councillor Chai, thank you. Any discussions? I'll put the motion for voting.
All in favor? Councillor Hall?
Councillor Hall? All in favor, Councillor Reddy, Councillor Datta and Councillor Chai. And against? Councillor Hall. Motion carried forward.
I prefer steam engines to be councillor.
I heard an inquiry today about the batteries, how dangerous they are.
They do light on fire.
They do.
EO1, review of the sporting ground fees and charges for 2024 and 2025, page 279. Can I have a mover? Councillor Datta, can I have a seconder?
Councillor Chai, Arun,
Can I have a
seconder.
seconder for EO1, sporting grounds?
Oh, okay. I move it.
Councillor Chai seconded. Any discussions, councillors?
No.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move an amendment.
Yeah.
May I be referred to the next committee workshop?
Mover and seconder, do you agree for this item to be moved to a workshop?
I prefer this one to go back to the workshop.
Yes, the same. Councillor Datta, do you agree for this?
It came from workshop, but if that I'm not opposed or in favor, but I cannot see why we move because it came from a workshop. And if we want to move a workshop, I'm not going to stop it. But I cannot see the reason, but I will support it if that's what majority wants.
Councillor Hall, do you have a discussion?
Yeah, I do. So this is in no way a reflection of anybody, but what a fantastic work the officers do to get so many reports in a workshop, which is really good, except that there is a lot of stuff in one workshop. And I think so when it starts at 4:30, and most of the time I'm at work anyway, but you know, sometimes I have been here and it's like 7:30 and 8, you know, there's 3 hours, it's just a long time. And so when we have important things like this, we tend to not discuss them as thoroughly and robustly as we probably could. So my suggestion is to add at point 2 that this particular, well, maybe this one and the previous one that just went to the workshop. Which one was that one that just went to the workshop? The Jubilati one. That be sent back. That they be sent back to the workshop, but that they be the only 2 items on the agenda. Because when they're part of an agenda of 15, 16, 17, by the time people get to it, it's like we're trying to feed children or husbands or wives or whatever. So that is my suggestion to add to your that's a point 2.
I'll move that as a whole amendment.
Just a question through the chair to Councillor Hall, because I know that she struggles with that time. So what that means is what Councillor Hall is proposing, that we, instead of X number of meetings a month, this meeting workshops a month, we will have X plus 5 number of workshops. So would you be X plus 6? So in that case, would you be able to find, just think that would you be able to find the time in addition to all the commitments you have to attend the number of workshops that you will need to attend? That's just a humble request to consider.
I can do 10 workshops for an hour and a half, but I can do very few for 3-4 hours.
Okay, councillors,
Shouldn't be a councillor. Give it away.
5 months to go.
Councillor Maheshwaran,
David?
is the amendment, do you agree to what you see on
Yes,
the
I do.
screen? Councillor Datta, Councillor...
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
You have no problem? Now the amendment be the motion. Can we all vote for it? Councillors? All in favour? Unanimous, carried forward. We have a similar motion. E02, review of the community facilities fees and charges for 2024 and 2025, page 292. Can I have a mover? Councillor Datta, can I have a seconder? Is there any discussions, councillors?
Yes, Madam Chair. I am proposing 3 amendments to page 294. Page 294, what I am proposing is, I think the increases are very significant. And working with various community organizations, I know that they do struggle for money very, very badly. And that is one of the reasons why I was reluctant to take $5,000 out from the community grant and give it to Jubilati. But I can see that if we increase these fees and charges for certain organizations that operates in our community, they would be really, really struggling. They won't be able to do certain things, or community service that they provide. And if they didn't provide some of the services, the community welfare, well-being that are aligned with our council objectives, then they would not be able to provide the service, and probably council would have to put more money to provide the services. So my proposals are that for both weekdays and weekends, 90% maximum discount for Strathfield-based not-for-profit organizations be given, whose revenue, annual revenue is less than 10K.
We're not capturing
Less than 10K, 90% deposit.
Councillor, it was suggested before as well for the amendments to be sent in advance to David.
I think I have sent to someone, or yeah, I emailed it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can take time. I think I sent to some people. I cannot remember who that was. And very simple. And for average fee we applied for not-for-profit with revenue below 20K, and 50% discount for non-Strathfield not-for-profit organizations, revenue below 15K.
Thank you, Councillor. Datta? Councillors, does anybody wants to take it to a workshop? Or you want to discuss tonight?
I think we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to. I'll move an amendment that this goes to workshop.
Do we vote for the amendment? Whose amendment?
Ask the council if that's an amendment.
Councillors, do you agree with Councillor
Yeah, I have no problem. You can take it to
Go
the...
back to,
Yeah.
so the amendment is, it will go back to next workshop. Now the amendment becomes the motion. Can we all vote for it?
I accept that amendment.
Councillor Chai, do you accept the amendment?
It's okay, if you go back to the workshop, we can talk from there. I don't.
Councillor Datta?
Yeah.
Now we vote for the amendment, which has become the motion now.
Just read out that the matter be deferred. The motion is now.
So then the motion is now the matter be deferred to the next council workshop.
Yeah. Is it the same one, Councillor Hall, or the next one? This will become 3.
This one should go with the sport.
Okay, let's vote for the motion, councillors. All in favour? Unanimous, carried forward. EO3, Cooks River upgrade, page number 313. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Datta and Councillor Hall.
If you were listening, if you were there at the workshop, councillor,
You were late. You were late.
Okay, do we have any discussions, councillors?
Madam Chair, you might now move for a second.
Councillor Datta has moved it and Councillor Hall has seconded. Can we have them?
what do you want to do?
I'll put the motion up for voting. All in favour? Carry forward, unanimous. Councillors, we have PO4. EO4, potential locations for the Gapyeong War Memorial, page number 317. Do we have a seconder? Mover and seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Maheshwaran. Seconded by does any other councillors want to second it?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Any discussions?
Move an amendment, Madam Chair, please, on identical terms to the previous motion, which is to refer it to workshop. And I should explain the reason for this, to refer this to a workshop as well as the other matters, is because it is best practice to try to make these decisions unanimously, and where there are very practical details such as locations and sightings that might be a matter of personal preference, those would be best identified in the workshop.
Councillor Datta, do you accept the amendments?
Yeah.
Now the amendment becomes the motion. I'll put to you, councillors. All in favour? Unanimous, carry forward.
Retired. Sorry? Before. We like to be working together rather than having humongous fights.
You think you drew today?
Councillors, EO5, proposed classification as operational land of 8 affordable units, housing units at 15 to 17 Columbia Avenue, Homebush. Page number 324. Can I have a mover? Okay. I have an amendment to this before we move it.
This is the one?
Amendment needs to be made to the report for item EO5, proposed classification as operational land of 8 affordable housing units at 15 to 17 Columbia Avenue, Homebush. Kathy Edwards David, Director of Engineering and Operations through the General Manager, will provide further information for this item. Councillors, additional information for this item was earlier emailed to you today, plus a hard copy has been provided to you this evening. The new motion, now I'll refer the matter to Kathy to give some explanation.
Through the Chair, as the Council, as you'd be aware, Council's been negotiating a voluntary planning agreement with the owner of the site at 15 to 17 Columbia Lane. After the VPA was signed, Council's representatives sought to register the VPA on title to protect Council's interests. At the time, it was discovered that the land was recently subdivided by the developer. This means that the reference to the land in the VPA and the request to register are incorrect, and the registration cannot be processed by the New South Wales Land Registry Service. The subdivision has meant that there's been a change to the property details in the report for item E05. So for accuracy, the report needs to read, it's Lot 12, Deposited Plan 1294820, Unit 8 being a 3-bedroom residential unit with 1 car parking space and 1 storage unit, Unit 10 being a 1-bedroom residential unit with 1 car parking space and 1 storage unit, Unit 14 being a 2-bedroom residential unit with 1 car parking space and 1 storage unit, Unit 16 being a 1-bedroom residential unit with 1 storage unit, Unit 19 being a 2-bedroom residential unit with 1 car parking space and 1 storage unit, Unit 32 being a 2-bedroom residential unit with 1 car parking space and 1 storage unit, Unit 34 being a 1-bedroom residential unit with 1 car parking space and 1 storage unit, and Unit 42 being a 2-bedroom residential unit with 1 car parking space and 1 storage unit.
So now I move the motion which is on amendment to be the motion on the screen. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Datta? Can we vote? Do we have any discussions, councillors?
Again, for this one, I know this one in the section 25, require all public land classified as either community or operational. But here we classify as operational. I just want to know what's the difference.
Through you, Deputy Mayor. So this information was also presented at the last councillor workshop to explain the reason for why these units need to be classified as operational land. The VPA requires the units to be used for the purpose of affordable housing. That means that council needs to lease those units out. If the classification of the land was to remain as community, which is the default classification of land when it's handed over to council, we would unable to comply with the conditions of the VPA, which are that the units would be leased out as affordable housing. So the legislation is clear in that it requires for council within 3 months of taking ownership of property to make a determination as to whether it's going to be community or operational. If council fails to make that determination within that 3-month period of the parcel of land or building being handed over to council, the default classification is community, which would mean we would not be able to lease these units out for the purpose that they've been handed over to us, and they would remain vacant.
So, Loftus Lane, the number 1 Loftus Lane, that was still, if I'm not mistaken, that never got changed from operational, from community to operational. It's still operational. Sorry, it's still community, but they're leased. They're rented out. So what's the difference with this one? Is this one because it's housing or?
Through you, Deputy Mayor, Loftus Crescent is a different property matter and separate to this one. I'd have to take that question on notice.
So councillors, now we put this amendment as motion, and can we all vote on it? All in favour? Unanimous, carried forward. Questions with notice? We have none. Matters of urgency?
Leave of absence now.
No matters of urgency. Now I declare the meeting be closed. The time being 8:07. Thank you, councillors. Thank you.